Welcome back to Leeds Lately. Before we get into this one, if you could just hit that big red button down below, that would massively help me out. But Leeds have unofficially made our first signing of the summer. Now, Lukas Nmecha comes into Leeds United as a 26-year-old German forward, someone who came through the academy at Manchester City, made his way over to Germany in the kind of more recent stages of his career and has played for Wolfsburg for the last 5 years, has spent time on loan at clubs like Preston, Middlesbrough and also Anderlecht in the Belgian division, Anderlecht where he had his most prolific season of his career where he scored 14 goals. More recently though, he scored 3 goals this season in 19 appearances, which sounds awful, but he actually only started 3 games and has been used as a sub for a lot of that time. Wolfsburg play most of the time with 2 strikers, Jonas Wind, the Danish striker, and also Amora as well, who I think got 10 goals and 12 assists or vice versa. So tough competition for him to actually get in that starting lineup, but he's been a bit part player for Wolfsburg over the last couple of years and is looking for something new coming into Leeds United. Now he meets the homegrown quota, so he came through the Manchester City Academy, so he meets that homegrown quota, and Leeds would just have to pay his wages because he is a free transfer. Now, the reason I said unofficially is because he doesn't officially sign for Leeds United until the 1st of July, due to the fact that his contract with Wolfsburg ends on the 30th of June. So he has signed everything ready for that date. He has done an interview with Leeds United, done all that sort of thing, but we're going to today have a look into what sort of player Lukas Nmecha is, how he might fit into Leeds United, and basically, do we think it's a good deal? Now, first of all, I'm going to say it's free. So no matter what kind of complaints you can have, yes, you do have to pay his wages, but he's a player with a decent amount of experience, still a lot left to prove, and somebody who will be hungry to try and prove himself as well, trying to fight for that position. To me, I think it also clearly states that Leeds were never looking to buy a striker to play instead of Joël Pereau. It sounds like Joël Pereau may kind of be the main guy or fight for the starting place with Nmecha. So it kind of remains to be seen on that one who will take the position. Nmecha can also play out on the left wing or the right wing, floating into those half spaces, which we do like to see within a Leeds United system. Apparently, had glowing recommendations of the club by Joshua Gilavogi as well, who has of course just spent a season at Leeds and now has gone as well because he used to play for Wolfsburg with him. So let's have a little look into his statistics a little bit, and then once we've done that, we'll have a look at an actual clip and it'll kind of give us more of an idea of the way that he plays. Now, Lukas Nmecha then, like I said, 3 goals this season in 19 games, but only 467 minutes played because a lot of those have been off the bench. So when you actually look at his per 90 statistics, so if we could extrapolate them for a full season, if he can stay fit, it does look pretty good actually. With his non-penalty goals sitting at 0.58 per 90. That puts him in the 85th percentile compared to strikers or forwards in European top 5 leagues. So the top 15% of strikers in terms of how many you scoring per 90 minutes that you're playing, because he hasn't played that many games and has spent a lot of the time coming off the bench. So still being able to score 3 goals is not amazing, but it's not bad either. When we look at his kind of link-up play, which is something that he said he enjoys doing in his interview, there's some of it that looks good and some of it that looks not so good. So in terms of his progressive passes received, 6.17 per 90 puts him in the 74th percentile. So how many passes is he receiving into his feet when he's running into that final third? So he's way above average for that. He's in the top 26%, so that's pretty good. Progressive carries as well. Does he carry the ball forward for his teammates? Does he drive his team up the pitch? 1.54 per 90 also puts him in the 74th percentile, so again, the top 26%. But his progressive passes himself, 1.16 per 90, puts him in the 25th percentile, so the bottom 25%. So You can say, okay, well, he's the striker. He might not be playing that many progressive passes. But when you look at somebody like Joel Peru, who might come and drop deep and get the ball and then play forward passes, you expect it to be a little bit higher than that. When you look at his pass completion rate, it's 63.9%, which puts him down at in the 17th percentile, so really, really low. And shot creating actions as well. For somebody who claims that he likes to kind of be involved in link-up play, 1.54 per 90, so creating just over 1.5 shots per game, puts him in the 19th percentile. So again, that is really low. Maybe with a lot more time and ability to kind of bed into the team, he might do better there, but we would say that the Premier League is a faster paced league and you have got competition from the likes of Joel Peru, and it could actually be more difficult for him than it was in the Bundesliga. But having said that, the system might not necessarily have fit Nmecha, and obviously when he's being signed by someone like Leeds, Nmecha already was at Wolfsburg for the last however many managers in 5 years have been. So he's not necessarily been signed to play a certain way. Now, Daniel Farke and the recruitment team have obviously seen something in the way that Nmecha plays that means that they would want to have him in their team. So the fact that he's been bought to play in this team suggests that he might have more of an impact in that sense. Like, he has been kind of chosen to play in this system, so he must fit the system better than what he did at his old club. Defensively, though, his interceptions per 90 is pretty high, so it shows that he works hard to try and track back and that he will press as well. His interceptions are 0.39 per 90, which puts him in the 92nd percentile, so the top 8% of forwards in the top 5 leagues based on how many minutes he's played. The other thing as well that a lot of people have been questioning is, if we do sign a striker, can they win headers? Can they score goals from corners, etc.? Aerials won 3.08 per 90, puts him in the 78th percentile, so up there in the top 22% of forwards in Europe for winning aerial balls, aerial contests. So whether that be a header in the box or whether that be a long ball up to him where he's got to try and bring it down and bring other players into play around him as a kind of hold-up man, he's got that in the locker. Now, something that is something that we always look at but can be skewed sometimes is the similar players aspect of the statistics. Now, based on his statistics, based in the last 365 days, based on the amount of minutes played, he's been compared to people like Alexander Sørloth for Atletico Madrid, Patrick Schick for Leverkusen, Dominic Calvert-Lewin for Everton, Moise Kean for Fiorentina, Robert Lewandowski for Barcelona, Benjamin Sesko for RB Leipzig, Beto for Everton, and Tieno Barry, who had a great season as well for Villarreal. So he's being compared to some elite forwards in Europe. Now, we have got a small sample size, so that can be skewed, but it kind of gives you an idea of the mold of player. Big frame, strong, good in the air, and able to score goals. That's kind of his shtick, if you will. 185 centimeters, so I think that makes him about 6'1", so a decent height as well for a striker. Currently on according to FB Ref, he's on €38,000 a week. So Leeds would either match that or give him slightly more or slightly less. So we are looking at not a huge Premier League wage, when obviously relative, yeah, that's ridiculous. But in Premier League terms, it's not a huge outlay in that sense. So let's have a little look at this clip now, because I do want to kind of talk about how he would fit into the Leeds United system and how he might be a little bit different from someone like Joel Peru, because whilst Joel Peru has some of the similar aspects to him, he's not necessarily somebody who is going to run in behind for you and really kind of be that type of striker. And I think that Lukas Nmecha's movement is something that will set him apart and will basically be the difference between saying, okay, Joel Peru needs to play in this game. Okay, we've got a bit more space in this game. Why don't we try and play Lukas Nmecha so that he can make those runs? So when we look at this clip, the ball's won back in midfield by the Wolfsburg player. And as you watch Nmecha come across there, you can see his starting position is way inside. It's almost between the two centre backs. But when he actually peels off and makes a run to the front post, he comes right out of the blind spot of both of those defenders and comes past them, runs into the half space, which is something that Daniel Farke loves, and he goes and finishes it off as well. It's that football awareness, it's that tactical brain to go, they can't see exactly where I am. If I hang out in their blind spot and just at the right time, I make that run to curve in behind and go into that space in the half space where a lot of goals come from, most goals come from statistically. The kind of ability to make runs like that is something that I think that will set Lukas Nmecha apart from Joel Pirou. Now, in summary, do I think this is the most glamorous signing in the world? No. Do I think that we could sign a better striker than Lukas Nmecha for the Premier League? Yes, I do. Having said that, he is free. He's not on a massive amount of wages and won't do damage to our PSR. So it means that we can go and spend money in other areas as well. I do think we need to spend a lot of money to strengthen our defence. And I think we need to spend a lot of money to strengthen our attacking midfield roles as well. And potentially wing. Fullback, we know we need a left back as well. Alex Moreno was someone who's been touted from Aston Villa, who looks like he could be looking for a new club. It gives us a chance to spend our money elsewhere, and potentially if we are going to let somebody like Mateo Joseph and Patrick Bamford go, we could then go and sign another striker as well. So let me know what you think down in the comments below. I'm not astounded by this signing, but I'm also not too disappointed as well. I do think it's a good start to the transfer window, and hopefully many more come as well. Thanks for watching Leeds Lately. Like I said, let me know what you think down in the comments below. Get your tickets now for the Leeds Creator Cup at the link in the description, as well as those other links as well for Back 4 merch, where you can use my affiliate link and use Leeds Lately 10 for 10% off. And you can also go over to my Etsy page where you'll find some Leeds United prints designed by me. Thanks for watching Leeds Lately, and I'll see you in the next one.